What up, everybody? Welcome, one and all. Today I'm checking out 10 ways living in the UK changed me as an American. I'm getting this one from She Runs the World. The link in the description below. Please go over and show her some love. With that said, let's dive into this video. I want to see the ways that living in the UK changed her. Here we go, right about now. Welcome, one and all. Mwah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Brittany, an American who moved to the UK about 2.5 years ago now. And I moved here mostly because my dad is from Oxford. So my entire life, I just kind of dreamed about moving to the UK, specifically London, just to get to know my roots a little bit better. So I wasn't really even thinking about how much the UK would change me after living here, but it really has. It's completely rewired how I live, think, and even walk. So today I'm sharing 10 ways living in the UK changed me from walking everywhere to saying sorry to inanimate objects. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about walking everywhere. When I first moved to the UK, I didn't realize how much walking was just a part of everyday life. Back home, a 30-minute walk would have felt like an expedition, and honestly, you just wouldn't really see anyone saying like, oh, it's a 30-minute walk and just start walking there.
True.
They would just hop in their car, drive over there. That's pretty normal in the States unless they're in New York. But here, a 30-minute walk is just kind of a quick stroll. You walk to the train station, to the shops, to meet friends, to literally everywhere. Even in big cities, people think nothing of walking 2 or 3 miles instead of driving. It's completely second nature now, and I actually miss it when I go somewhere that's a little bit more car dependent. You start to notice how walking just kind of clears your head, how the weather changes by the minute, and how much of the city you would miss if you were sitting behind a steering wheel or honestly even on the train. It's weirdly grounding. So now I've definitely developed this like walking mindset. If it's under 45 minutes, it's walkable. Next, we'll talk about
I get where she's coming from. When she said it, walking everywhere from the shops to meeting friends, to go hang out. And when she said you miss so much if you're sitting behind a steering wheel or you're taking public transportation. And it's so right. And there's one thing I notice about the UK, when it comes on to things are, no, walking is so easy because things are in close proximity. And I love that. And when she said 30 minutes walk, to an American, oh no, 10 minutes walk, we're jumping in the car. A 5-minute walk, they're jumping in the car. That's what they're used to, just driving everywhere. And I love that. And I can see how it becomes a part of her routine to walk places once it's less than 45 minutes. And she's right. People in New York do walk a lot. You walk 5, 6, 7 blocks without thinking about it instead of jumping in a cab or jumping on the train, you know? And that is awesome. And it's also better for you. And it makes you healthier when you think about it, you know? So I love that.
Checking the weather app religiously. In the UK, checking the weather isn't a suggestion, it's a survival skill. I used to laugh at people who would check the weather forecast every morning, and I think it might be a little bit different for me compared to an American coming from somewhere else in the States that does have a ton of weather changes in like all 4 seasons. But being from Los Angeles, I can tell you that I literally never check the weather. It's pretty much just sunny and mid-70s year round. So when I first moved here, I was just never in the habit of checking the weather, and it did screw me on countless occasions, but now I check it before I leave bed in the morning, as I'm walking to the train station for work, before making any plans. The weather here just changes more dramatically than a Netflix plot twist. So if there's sunshine, don't trust it. You see a blue sky, doesn't mean it'll be there 5 minutes from now. Learn the subtle art of layering a t-shirt, jumper, waterproof jacket, just in case. So my phone's weather widget is basically my most used app now. And even though the forecasts are only mostly right, it gives you this illusion like you have control. Like maybe this time you're gonna outsmart the UK weather and dress correctly for the entire day that you'll be out. You won't, but you'll keep checking anyway. This next one is so funny and so...
I love the way she said it. She said, listen, don't trust it, because it's what is the word? I'm like, it's like your weather is like a cuckoo bird. It jumps from one place to the next. So it's raining, it's sunny, it's snow, it's hailing. I've heard that so much from you guys. So her weather app is her best friend, and I get it. And you know what? Here in the US, people see rain, they stay in. the snow coming. Some people stay in, depending on the state that you are. As for me, I have to check the weather now because it's winter time. I want to see how cold it is, to see how I need to dress and how I need to send the kids out to school. So that for me is the norm, especially in the winter time. In the spring, it rains constantly. And the rain don't stop you from getting anything done here in Alaska. We're out there, football match, having just hanging out with friends. You're there, so I get what she's saying. In some states, people are not used to it. It's like the rain in the UK, the weather is bipolar. It just switch from left to right. And I know when you guys get a ray of sunshine, it's like golden. It's gold. Everybody's out. I've heard the people from the UK say that a million at one time. Once there's sun, everybody shirtless, half naked outside, just enjoying the outside, and I love that. So I'll definitely change, and if I move to the UK, these are things that I definitely do because it's good for you anyway, and you're just keeping up with the time.
Vote British, saying sorry when someone bumps into you. In the UK, sorry isn't really about guilt. It's more about like emotional punctuation. Someone bumps into you, you say sorry. Someone drops something, you say sorry. You sneeze, you say sorry. You exist slightly too loudly, definitely say sorry. It's like a national reflex here. And at first I did think it was a bit excessive. Like, why are we apologizing for things that aren't our fault? But then I realized it's not really about fault. It's much more about just keeping things smooth. The British are just so overly polite, especially compared to Americans. We're a lot more abrupt. We're a lot more direct. So I feel like the word sorry just kind of softens everything. It's a way of saying I acknowledge this slightly awkward situation. So let's move on now. And eventually it just kind of seeps into your bones. I actually caught myself saying sorry to a mannequin once when I bumped into it. And that's when I knew I'd fully assimilated to British culture. Next is adapting to.
Look, I can imagine saying sorry to even the ground if you fall on it. I can see myself doing that. But she is spot on. When it comes on to the US, and I don't like it either. Even when you're going to the store or you bump into somebody and the please and the thank yous and the sorry is not the norm. And I'm like, come on, it's just common courtesy. What's wrong with saying sorry? You just puffed up. The attitude is just different. And I've heard this from a few other expats that say, listen, in the UK, people say sorry for every and anything. And that makes sense. It's to just make things flow. It's not necessarily that you're cowards or anything to that effect. It's just that, it's a part of who you are. Don't you fall in the bushes, you say sorry bush. So yeah, that's pretty cool though. And I like that kind of temperament.
Smaller fridges and more frequent trips to the grocery store. The first apartment I lived in Hammersmith, I saw the fridge and I thought it was a mini bar. I thought, how do people survive with this teeny tiny fridge? But you adapt because shopping here is different. Instead of a massive weekly bulk grocery store haul like we would at Sam's Club or Costco back in the States, people buy fresh ingredients here every day or every few days. It's kind of nice because you get into this rhythm of you go on your morning walk, you pop into Tesco, you grab a few bits, and you just kind of repeat it the next day, and actually makes you think more intentionally about what you buy and what you eat. The produce sections are smaller, but the food goes bad faster, which means it is fresher. It's definitely more inconvenient at first, especially by American standards, because we're just so used to stockpiling food, buying in bulk. But once you get used to it, it's oddly satisfying because that morning I can think, what do I want to eat for dinner tonight, and get the ingredients for that day, rather than just kind of looking in the fridge and having to come up with something based on the ingredients that I already have in the fridge because I bought a week ago. Next is something that might be specific to America.
Oh, that's a big one. I definitely get used to buying. I don't have, buying grocery more often than buying in bulk and having things in the fridge and just eating the same old meal because you look in the fridge and the food, because America, go big or go home. In the UK, your fridges are small, so you tend to, shop according to the things that you need, and you go grocery shopping more often. And I love the fact that she said, listen, things go bad quicker because things are fresher, which I get it. You'll buy apple and it stay here for two months on the counter because it's there's so much chemical and everything rubbed onto it. So listen to me. And she's right. When you hear people do a lot of big grocery haul that will serve a month and a half, to sustain their family. And sometimes you go in the fridge, you look in there, and like, oh, what am I going to eat today? You have to untoss stuff. You go, like she said, but for her, she loves the idea of shopping regular and often. She wasn't used to it at first, and I get that. And no American would be used to that because, like I said, they tend to shop and have things on hand for weeks on end in their house instead of going to the grocery store again. But the thought of coming home from work and thinking, what am I going to cook to dinner? Let me just zoops to the shop and get that. Oh, what do I need for breakfast? I can just zoop to the shop. It's not far away, it's so close, and it's fresh, and it's right at your finger. You know what I mean? That right there is, to me, just amazing.
Who come from sunny places like Texas, Florida, or me in California, getting emotional when the sun comes up. Being from LA, I used to take the sun for granted. It was pretty much a guarantee that you would see the sun that day. And if you didn't, it was kind of like a fluke and a huge deal. Everyone gets upset on the one gray or rainy day that we have every few months. It's like all the news. But in the UK, the sun is like a celebrity. It has rare appearances. It's always a headline. And when it finally shows up, people lose their minds. Parks fill up, pubs overflow. Strangers are actually smiling at each other in the streets, which is not something people do in London. I know more so up north they do that, but still in London they don't. It's like the whole country collectively defrosts. And honestly, you start to understand it after months of gray skies and early darkness. Sunlight really does feel like therapy. It's not just light, it's hope. I've learned to savor it, sit by a window, rearrange my day just to be outside and kind of feel the rays soak into my very pale skin. You develop this deep appreciation for small golden moments, even if they only last for 5 minutes before the gray clouds roll back in. Now, to piggyback off that last point, another way the UK changed me is realizing that rain doesn't stop anything here. In some countries or even states, like again, where I'm from in California, rain cancels plans. It cancels everything. But in the UK, there's always a chance that it's gonna rain that day, whether it's a light drizzle or an absolute downpour. So you can't just never make plans, or you'll never have any plans ever. Like honestly, when it's raining, life completely goes on as normal. People really don't even acknowledge it half the time. Like you'll see people out just like walking their dogs in a full-on storm, just completely unfazed. I learned to just accept it too, which was so not the case when I was back home in California. Rain meant I was going to do absolutely nothing that day except curl up on the couch and watch a movie. And I know this is just British life that people have just kind of been used to since birth, but watching a kid's soccer game, even though it's still drizzling, or people just going on with their usual morning walks, even though it is pouring, it's admirable. The British don't need sunshine to function, and that's kind of inspiring. The next thing that the UK changed.
I love the way she said it. The British don't need sunshine to function. It's just that she said, listen, the sunshine is like I said earlier, it's like pure gold. It's like the sun is a celebrity. The sun is a celebrity here in the UK. Is that something? People are out, the pubs are full, the parks are full, everybody's just out, everybody's smiling with each other. And she said, listen, I'm in London where faces are screwed. I'm like, don't look at me. But it's just a different kind of atmosphere when the sun is out. And I get that 100%. Living in Alaska, it is the same for me. But like she said, in some other states, people don't see the sun that way. They're bothered by the sun. Oh, it's too hot. It's too this, because they're used to having the sunshine and the sunlight and the place looking. But for us who doesn't, so I can relate to her, how she can appreciate that stuff. And yeah, in America, the rain start falling in certain states, everything shut down. And to me, I'm like, dress accordingly. What is so hard to dress accordingly? And I get it. In the UK, the rain is falling. It's just a way of life for you guys. She said, listen, there's a thunderstorm and somebody in a cloak outside walking, minding their own business while the breeze is blowing and chicken body out the door. Pretty much. They don't care. They just life goes on. And I love that. It's pretty cool. But I'm like, she's like, listen, the pubs are full. The parks are full. Everybody's out and it's all hanky-dory when the sun is shining. The rain, It's the same thing. We're at the soccer game. We're doing everything. We're going out. We're having a cuppa with friends. We're running to the supermarket. It doesn't change. The rain don't change nothing in the UK. Listen, and listen, even if it lasting for 5 minutes, who cares? That's the norm, and we love it here. That's what she said, and she's become accustomed to that. And this is how I look at it. You go somewhere, you live somewhere new, you change with the flow of things. You change with what's going on. There's no point in trying to do the same thing you do in one country in the next. You're only going to be miserable. There's no point. So you change and you work with the flow of things, and it makes life easier for you. It makes the transition much easier.
Change me is in the phrases and words I use sometimes. I remember the first time I said cheers instead of thanks, which is one of my favorite British words. I love how versatile it is and how it's just used for everything. And even though it doesn't sound great in an American accent, in my opinion, I was like, wow, look at me using British words without even realizing it. And before moving to the UK, I would never describe something as lovely or quite nice instead of saying that's awesome or amazing, or saying something as sorted rather than, oh, I figured it out, or even saying full on sentences like, I'm gonna go pick up some bits at the shop. But now these are all things that are just naturally a part of my everyday vocabulary. And again, even though it sounds way nicer with a British accent rather than an American one, in my opinion, it's so interesting to see how much the UK has changed and influenced my vocabulary and slang since moving here. Now we'll talk about getting into
that. I can get into that. I relish in the slangs that you guys use. To me, is just it's just out there, but I love it. And not to mention, like she said, listen, my American accent don't do it justice, but just listening to a person in the UK that's born and bred there talk and just using certain slang, I'm like, mesmerized. You all know. But I'm like, when you immerse yourself in a culture, you start becoming a part of that culture. You know, and you become a part of it and not realizing that you're doing certain things because you know what? Because you immerse yourself into it. So listen, like she said, listen, when she said I would be using word like awesome, I'm like, yeah, that's everything is awesome here in America. The typical person every time, wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's awesome. It's like we don't know no other word here. And it's like a bell went off in my head when she said, because I'm guilty of it too. Definitely guilty. So yeah, picking up little slangs here and there and saying stuff to you that you're not used to make you feel good when you start doing it as well.
The pub culture, even though I'm not a huge drinker to begin with. And also my entire second year of living here, I've either been pregnant or breastfeeding, so not drinking anyway. But I've touched on this in a few videos now, but something I love about the pubs in the UK is that they're more than a place to drink. They really are the beating heart of British social life. You can meet friends, bring your dog or your baby, have a Sunday roast, or honestly just sit quietly by yourself with a book. I just love how welcoming pubs are, even if you don't drink much. It's not really about the alcohol. It's about a place to come together. And the vibes totally shift with the seasons. Cozy and firelit in the winter, buzzing with beer gardens in the summer. There's just like this unspoken comfort with it. Like no matter what's going on in life, the pub is there. It's completely different to a bar in the States where you really only go there to drink. You wouldn't just kind of go there and hang out, and you definitely wouldn't bring your baby or dog with you to a bar. Now, something else that the UK...
Listen, this is what I want to experience, the pub life. And you've heard me say a million and one. And when I get to the UK, oh, I shall enjoy the pub life. Oh, I can't wait. And I love the fact that it's an atmosphere for everybody. Like she said, Dick, Tom, and Harry can come there, whether you are the little snob, what are you uppy the uppy, what are you nerds, what. It's an atmosphere for everyone to come and enjoy. Don't you pet can be inside. I'm like, seriously, listen. That to me in itself is amazing. You have a drink, you sit back, relax, and chat with friends. You can chillax in there by yourself and don't feel awkward. And you're in no rush to get out, and ain't nobody kick you out because they have to turn tables over. Oh, and the alcohol variety, baby. I cannot wait to come and experience, not to mention the roast. And she said, let's, it changed depending on the season. Somebody's still sleeping. It changed depending on the season it is. Cozy in the wintertime, bustling in the summertime because there's beer gardens and everything and pubs. All, listen, man, love it, love it. And it's nothing like America going into the bars. Nope, it's not. And I'll agree with her with that 100%. Oh, I can't wait to come and experience it for myself. Oh, I can't wait, baby. And I know I'ma love it. That's for sure. Baby, let's continue.
Subtly teaches you without even realizing it is how to live a bit greener. It's not necessarily a loud environmental movement. It's more kind of just woven into everyday life. Recycling isn't just encouraged, it's kind of just expected. It's just the norm. You'll find separate bins for everything: paper, glass, food
Ooh,
waste, plastics, garden waste. Sometimes you need a degree just to figure out which one's which, but it becomes second nature eventually. The same goes for reusable bags. After paying that little 10p charge a few times, you never forget to bring your own
yep,
tote again. And then there is the shift away from driving. Public transport, walking, cycling, again, they are just the norm. Owning a car feels almost unnecessary in big cities, and you kind of start to notice how that affects your habits. You buy locally, you walk more, you consume less, and it's not about being perfectly eco-friendly. It's just about being aware. Living in
yep.
the UK just makes sustainability feel less like a trend and kind of more just common sense, which I know I'm
Makes
gonna get
sense.
tons of comments like, it's like this everywhere else in the world except for the US. You
No,
guys are the only ones who don't care about the environment, which is true. But this video is about ways that the UK specifically
change
has
her.
changed me. So please remember that before you comment that it's like this everywhere else in the world. And the last way the UK has changed me.
So it is not like that everywhere in the world. I guarantee you. Yeah, in the US, oh yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done. There are good sides to being in the US, don't get me wrong, but it's like she said, it's the way the UK has changed her as a person, and that's all I have to say because the video it speaks for itself. It's about her. Because listen, in the US, every and anybody have a car because you need a car mainly to get from point A to point B in all these states. And the walkability, you hardly see people cycling. Public transportation is hot mess. The train system, the bus system is it's not reliable. So I get what she's saying. Going to the shops, little shops near neighborhood shops nearby to go and get grocery. That is not the norm here in the US. So she's right. Not to mention the different bins, because I'm like, oh, you got a trash bin, recycling up the for everything. Some states you go into, it's sickening just to see the garbage thrown everywhere. And there are bins there, and some people don't even use it. They just don't care. They don't take care of their environment. It's factual. There's no going around that. So yeah, you go to another country and you're not used to that way of life. So it's either you're going to, like I said earlier, go with the flow of things and change and immerse yourself in what's going on in wherever you move to, or you're going to stick to your old ways like how you used to live in America. Because she's like, a car is not a necessity because everything is at your fingertip, the accessibility, the affordability, everything is there. And she's in London, like she said, it's different for her. And that's one of the things, even though it has changed her, she loves it. So I see where she's coming from.
Is knowing exactly when the last train home is.
Oh,
In the UK, missing the last train is a character building experience. You learn fast because once that clock ticks past midnight and the last service leaves, you're kind of stranded. No Uber can save you if you are too far away. So everyone develops this kind of sixth sense for train schedules. You'll see people checking apps mid-conversation, calculating whether they can squeeze in one more drink before the 11:42 departs. It becomes part of your internal rhythm, this awareness of time and timetables. And weirdly, it gives your nights a kind of structure. You learn to plan ahead, to coordinate routes, to appreciate the small victories of making it by 1 minute. The UK train system
Dang.
might be unpredictable, but it's also a rite of passage. Miss one and you'll never forget again. It's
I know
not
that's
just about
right.
transport, it's about timing, discipline, and knowing when to call
Call
it a
it a
night. So
night.
there you have it, 10 ways that the UK has changed me as an American who's been living here for about 2.5 years now. So let's take a look at why I decided to leave the US and move to the UK in the first place.
Listen, I enjoyed every last minute of this video. And look, she said, listen, you're going to know what time it is. When you're out and about and you're going to know what time you're going to check that the scale. I'm touching it and I'm saying scale. You're going to check that train schedule, the time, to know the time. Because when she said, if you're too far out, not even an Uber can save you. I'm like, huh? What? That's crazy. I'm like, ooh, you don't want that to happen to you. That's for sure. She's like, listen, if you can take another sip in, the last drink in before you catch that 11:42. Because once you get left behind, you'll never let it happen to you again. So the 10 ways that the UK has changed her as an American, it's understandable. Like I said, when you go somewhere, you plan on staying there and living there. Immerse yourself so you're not stressing about where you have lived before and things are not the same or complain. Whether you dress accordingly, son is like a celebrity. You run out whatever time you see it. You don't need to have a car because public transportation is accessible. You start picking up a little slangs here and there. You enjoy the pub life, Just wrap back, relax, and enjoy where you are for the moment that you're there. That's how I see it, Walking. And listen, when you walk, you can see so much, learn so much than when you're in a vehicle. Actually, you be like, it's like life pass you by when you're sitting behind a wheel. You see so much, you learn to appreciate stuff more, you get to know places more, and you get to know your neighborhood and the people that you're amongst. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to come to the pub. Have me some ales. Have me some rose. And just sit back and relax and listen to the accent and turn a little sauce, just like my knees shaking, listening to all the accents. It's an island girl and I'm running out of here. Like I said, it's She Run the World, link in the description below. She has an amazing channel over there. Go over and show her some love. Tell her Island Girl sent you. Don't forget to hit the like button on this one because it tells YouTube that you like the content that I'm bringing forward. Not only that, hit the subscribe button if you're new here. And welcome one and all. You know what? Your girl is running out of here. It's time to get out. Up and about. Love you guys to the max. And do what? See you guys in another video. Let me know in the comment section what you'd like me to check out next. Your girl got you. Bye.